been in the United States for a little while, and I just wanted to tell you guys a few of the things that really shocked me about America. Number one.
Hey guys, on to the next one. Today's video, I want to quickly talk about what the Americans seems to be normal. They see it to be normal, how the Americans live their life on a normal day, and every other see those things as weird, but it's normal to the Americans. People talked about it, and I'll be sharing these very short videos with you all to watch. And when you're done watching, if you can relate to this or you have anything to say concerning this, we'll come back to talk about it. Please, let's watch.
Public transportation is free. I stay in Washington, D.C., so this might not apply to some other states. But here, it's free. You can pay if you want to pay. Nobody's going to stop you from paying. But nobody's going to ask you to pay if you don't want to pay. Truth is, 90% of the people that enter buses don't pay here in D.C. Even Maryland, in fact, the whole of this DMV area, which I'm familiar with, maybe where you're going to need you to enter a train, you have to pay. As long as it is these buses, metro buses, it's free. Number two, I'm from Cameroon, and back home there are a lot of things that we believe are for rich people. It's not really about we believe. You need to be rich to have some kind of things. For example, you see someone maybe driving a big car, using an expensive phone. You need to be rich to be able to have them because you pay them cash. Here it's totally different. Owning a car is not for the rich. It's a basic necessity. Anybody can have it. The system has made it in such a way that you just need to have a good payment plan and stick to it. So don't look at somebody that maybe is driving some kind of car or doing some sort of things that you feel like they are rich. No. And even other things that back home we look at them as a flex. If you see someone maybe with a washing machine, like this laundry machine in their houses, it's a big flex because we still wash our clothes with our hands. But here, who washes their clothes with their hands? You don't even have the time. Buildings that the apartments have washing machines inside, even if the apartment does not have, the whole building will have it maybe in their basements, or you go to laundromat, nobody washes their clothes with their hands, that's not it back home. But three, back home, you know, when you want to cross the road, you have to look left, look right, look left, look right again, and then you have to run to cross the road. Here, just approaching the road to cross, and then the cars just start waiting. I'm like, wait, I'm waiting for me to come and pass. And that's how it is here, because if you knock somebody down, oh my God. Another one, you know the mentality people back home have about the US, how maybe everybody's rich, everybody's doing so well. Let me shock you. Some of you know already. There are beggars here. On go to the streets, you find people begging. And it baffles me because with all the opportunities they have, we are literally struggling to come here to eat of what they have. I don't want this video to be too long, so I might have to do a part 2. Bye.
Name something that white people do that other racists think is weird, but it's normal to us.
Have super loud sex where everybody in the house could hear. I grew up on the southeast side of San Antonio, where it's primarily black and Hispanic families, and with a few white families. And when we would go to their house to play video games, his parents were so loud, we were all uncomfortable, and they would walk out in robes, and sometimes his mom would walk out topless. And as I got older, I had a lot of female friends who were cheerleaders, and they said they'd always go to their friend's house for a party or whatever, or a sleepover, and the mom would walk around topless and they could hear the parents having sex. Super loud. That is weird. Hispanic families and black families, as far as I know, were not like that, but that was very weird.
When you go to the USA and you're a tourist and you're not used to tipping, but then you go to a restaurant and then you see the little tip line, if you put $0.00, a portion of that meal is going to be taken out of the server's paycheck. I know it sounds fake, I know it sounds like bullshit, and I know it's not fair, but it's true. Do I think that America needs a little bit of reform, especially when it comes to our tipping culture? Yes. Do I think it's getting out of control? Yes. But when you're a tourist, it's not your job to be like, I'm not gonna tip because it's my form of protest. If there comes a reform, it has to come from the waitresses and the waiters themselves, but that's not up to you. You don't get to just say, no, I refuse to participate, because what you're doing is you're fucking over your servers who are just working, and oftentimes servers live paycheck to paycheck. I saw a story on here of like a person, it was like a 20 top, which means 20 people. She was serving 20 people, and it was a $400 check, and they only tipped like $25. She had to give like $24 to the pool of like hosts, cooks, bussers, and she made $1 off of a $400 tab. Do you know how much the restaurant pays us outside of tips? I think at Texas Roadhouse where I worked, I think I made like $2 an hour. So when you choose to tip $0.00, it's not the cute little form of protest that you think it is. You're literally denying your server who's waiting on your beck and call. You're denying them a meal or a tank of gas. It's important that you put aside your personal beliefs about tipping and actually just support the people who are serving you, because you're only in the USA for a couple weeks. You can't make fundamental change. All you're doing is taking money from servers, literally taking money from servers. I know it sucks. I know it's not fun, but if you can't afford to tip, then don't go out to eat. That's just the fact of the matter in the USA. I'm sorry if you don't like it, but when you visit a country, you need to conform to the country's customs. People always tell us that when we go abroad, so it's only fair that you guys would respect it in return.
White missionaries moving into predominantly black neighborhoods is strange because it has with it this implication that only white Christianity is true Christianity. But that's the philosophy behind missionaries in general. When we were living in Rwanda, there was one of our students that we got really close with, and we went to visit his family. It took 3 days of travel to visit his family for about 2 hours. The area was so remote that it took a ferry, a bus, and then a moto taxi, and then it got too treacherous for the moto taxi, which is something we didn't know could happen, and we had to walk the rest of the way. So here's me and my student walking to visit his family. While we were there, one of the elders in the community told our student that we were the first Westerners to visit that village ever. I have no reason to believe that's not true. It is hard to get there, and you have to go there on purpose. Most places we went in East Africa, people would see us immediately and be like, "Umuzungu," like white person, look, it's a white person. But not here. Here, everywhere we went, it was silent and everyone just stared at us like, what on earth are these people doing here? Especially the kids who have heard of Abazungu but have never seen one. But something that had a profound impact on me is that when we got there, there was a church. There was a Christian church there. And I just thought, why on earth do Americans travel all the way to Africa to be missionaries? Christianity has been in Africa far longer than it's been in the United States. Why do we, as white people, believe that our version of Christianity is the right version and it needs to be spread? So much so that we will spend thousands of dollars to send missionaries to Ethiopia to spread Christianity. To Ethiopia. Sometimes people are raising tens of thousands of dollars to send a handful of missionaries to go and do meaningless work. In reality, there's not a single thing that a white person can do for a black community. They can build their own schools and run their own orphanages. They can spread their own gospels and grow their own food. They can make their own money and purify their own water. They can build their own governments and financial institutions and health centers. And anytime we see that their communities aren't able to do any one of those things on their own without the help of white people, it's because we meddled in their business. We need to stop acting like we're the answer to their problems, because if we go back far enough, we're always going to find that we're the problem to their problems. And if we really want to send something to impoverished communities, we should send them what they ask for, not what we think they need. I've never heard of any community asking for missionaries. So when I see an organization like Sun Ministries that's sending white missionaries to predominantly black neighborhoods in the United States, they're not doing anything good. They are there to profit off of performative charity. And when they're fundraising, people think that they're giving money to support that community. But the people of that community don't see a dime of that money. And anytime you see missionaries being sent to some location, remember, there is a community-based organization there. There is some kind of social network that has been created by the members of that community to serve the members of that community. And that organization that's actually comprised of members of that community is the one you should be giving your money to.
Okay, you guys loved the cultural shock video so much, so I'm back with more. The first thing that I also experienced in this country is that when you pay at restaurants, they take your card. So you put your card in the check or the bill thing, and they take it and you pay at the back without you there. Now in South Africa, you can't do that. They usually bring the little ATM thing. What's it called? They bring it to you. You put your card in, you put your PIN, and you pay. Versus here, they take your card, they go to the back, they swipe it, and they bring the receipt back to you. The second thing, which I still to this day, you would think I would understand it by now, and I'm going to try to explain it to you guys, is daylight saving. So when it's winter, you get an extra hour in the day, and when it's summer, they take an hour away. And so when there's a certain time in the year, there's a date, whenever, when it's 2 o'clock, let's say it's 2 o'clock in the middle of the night or early hours of the morning, it's 2 o'clock. Instead of it going to 3 o'clock, it goes back to 2 o'clock. Yeah, that is weird. That was like a big shock because I was like, what the hell is happening here? The third thing is, guys, Americans love their flag. Everywhere. You'd see people in some states even wearing their clothes as flags. Their houses outside have flags. They have socks with flags. I was just like, they taught me how to love my country because I was just like, man, if they're going to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to rock up with my South African stuff. I'm going to make my own hoodies. But yeah, there's even stores where you can go buy South African merch. The next thing, I think I spoke about it for a bit here, is this after tax thing. When you buy and if something is R5 on the shelf, when you get to the till, it could be R5.30, R5.40. Here, instead of having the whole value added tax already added into their prices, you have to pay afterwards. And it can be annoying because you can come with 10 Rand, for example, and you think you're going to get something for 10 Rand. And then you get to the till and they're like, oh, we are short. So you have to fill up. Or if you come with exact, it is your own thing. You can't buy it. And lastly, see this one, guys, hair and nails are so expensive here. Like, just to do your nails, when you convert, this is another thing, don't convert if you're living here. But nails and hair is so expensive. To do box braids, it's like 300 or 350. When you convert it, that's almost like, what, 4,000 Rand? I was just like, I'd rather not. Even nails, for like basic nails, it's like $35. What is $35 in South Africa? Almost 450 Rand for basic. I'm talking about they put Q-Tex on your nails and just clean them. I was just like, this is like the worst. And I was so shocked. And I thought I was the only one just complaining. I was like, maybe I'm just cheap. Everyone was complaining. Even the girls from Brazil was like, this is just expensive. It's a whole vibe here, but I'm just like, no, guys, no. This is one thing I miss about SA.
Welcome back. So please, can you relate to any of this? If you're watching me right now and you are an American, can you relate to any of these things that these people just said? Or maybe what they are saying is just based on their own personal experience. It has nothing to do with the Americans. So guys, drop your comment in the comment section. And if this is your first time of seeing me, don't go without subscribing. Give my video a thumbs up. And if it's possible, turn on your notification bell. Don't you want to be seeing this beautiful face? I am Tracy, and right now, I'm out. See you in my next video.